Assalamu alaikum. Today we are going to learn a new environment, which is language. Language is an interesting environment. What is language? Language means it's a communication what we speak to each other, right? There are many languages. In India, in outside of the countries, they speak in their own mother tongue. So you have to understand what is language. As soon as the child is born, he has no sounds. He only observes a mother. And later on in the stages, he starts to use murmuring, right? He observes your lip pattern and he starts murmuring, like he try to imitate you, he try to speak. Then in later on stages, he start to call small words like mama, papa, these kind of small words. So the sensitive period for language is slowly developing in the child, because the sensitive period for language is very high. And later on he try to frame sentences, right? Mama, water, in your own mother tongue languages. So you have to see that how the sequence is going on for language, how the child has an urge to speak, urge to communicate, right? So in House of Montessori, maybe you have many children around you. You have many children from different backgrounds, from different customs, from different religions, from different mother tongues. So what you have to develop him the language, English communication, right? So how you are going to develop this language? So here is a simple activity where I am going to start, okay? So the first activity which you are going to start to the child is enrichment of vocabulary. The first activity you have to give in the school. The language starts to the child at the age of 2.5. That means if the child has taken an admission in the school at the age of 2.3 years or 2.4 years, the language activity starts. So at this age you can start with language activity in form of enrichment of vocabulary. In enrichment of vocabulary we have 5 groups, okay? Keep in your mind, we have 5 groups. The first group is give commands around your environment. For example, when the child comes to the classroom, you have to give him commands. Come here, okay? If he is not able to understand the language what you are saying, show him with an actions, come here. So the child see your actions and he comes to you. Then you can also say, can you please go there and sit? Can you please sit down? Show with the actions, can you please sit down? So simultaneously he is watching your actions and he is catching your words, okay? Then again you can give any other commands. Can you close the door? Door, okay? Can you close the door? Can you stand near the window? Okay? Can you please come here? Can you please stand near curtain? So start giving him the commands. This will help him in enrichment of vocabulary and he starts communicating with you slowly. So this is the first group, okay? Giving commands. There are many commands you can give. The second group is give commands are near for your material, okay? Montessori house is filled with all materials, right? The child is aware of mat, the child is aware of pink tar, the child is aware of cylinder blocks. So you can start giving commands for materials. Can you please bring me cylinder block? Can you please stand near pink tower? Can you please carry the mat? Okay? Can you please stand near chowki? So you're introducing the material to the child, okay? And you as well as you're giving commands. So this is the second group. The third group comes names via name lessons. For example, you have to introduce the names. In what sense? This is a floor, right? Tell the child to feel it. This is a floor. Can you touch the floor? Yes. Then you can say this is a chowki. Okay? This is a chowki. That is a wall. Can you see my language? Can you see my accent? I'm introducing the sentences to him. I'm introducing the names as well as. That is a wall. This is a fan. Okay? Names. This is a fan. This is a light. That is a fan. Okay? This is a girl. Sorry. She is a girl. He is a boy. Right? I'm a girl. So you can introduce names. Okay? So this is phone. Okay? This is pen. So you can start giving name via name lessons. Okay? This is a third group. The next group is fourth group. In fourth group, you have to introduce with stories and rhymes. Okay? What kind of stories? When we are talking about stories in language, what kind of stories? Is it some fairy tale? Right? Is it some Barbie doll story? Is it some Superman, Hitman, Batman? No, not at all. It's not about fairy tales, right? In practical, do we have fairy tales in life? Do you assume? We don't have. Do we have Superman? Do we have Spider-Man? We don't. Do we have Batman? Don't. We don't have. Then why we have to say those kind of stories to the child which are not practical, right? If you are going to say fairy tale stories to the child is going to assume in the same way. The child is going into the world of artificial world where he thinks there is a Spider-Man who can climb the wall within seconds and jump from one building to another building. So you are not allowed to say those kind of stories. Say those stories which have something moral, which have something practical, right? So select your stories, short stories which has very simple words. With the help of these stories, you can introduce those words in language which you want to introduce. Okay? For example, now I want to introduce my child with birds, okay? With some stones, mud, okay, trees. I want to make a story which I have to introduce with these words. Okay? So I have a small story. Better? Shall I tell you one story? So you can have a group activity. Okay? Then you can start telling a story. Once I went outside for a morning walk. Okay? Where I was going? I was going to the park. Okay? And then you can communicate with the child. Where I was going? The children will say park. Yes. So when I went to park, what did I saw there? I saw all beautiful trees. I saw beautiful grass with beautiful flowers. Allah's creation, right? I sat there on the bench for a while to observe the beautiful nature of God's creation. Okay? Then I had a look on a tree. I observed something. There were small birds on a nest. Right? Those small birds were very beautiful. Okay? I can hear them. I can hear the sound the birds were calling. Okay? So you can develop these kind of stories in a natural way with expressions. Okay? With involvement of the child. So you're developing their language. So these kind of stories can be developed for children. And apart from that, you can have rhymes. Okay? So you can have short rhymes, and those rhymes which can also help in developing language, in enrichment of vocabulary. For example, if you are saying Johnny, Johnny, yes papa, eating sugar, no papa, telling lies, no papa, open your mouth, ha ha ha. What are you getting from that rhyme? Right? Think for a while. That rhyme has something lie. Right? The child is eating sugar and he is telling a lie to the father. Like, eating sugar? No papa. Telling lies? The father is asking, telling lies? He is telling no papa. Again a lie. So, do we think the children will like those kind of rhymes? No. Actually, the rhyme is not suitable for the child. Okay? The child is telling lie. So, we should not say those kind of rhymes. Something practical. Okay? For example, lemon juice. Lemonine juice. lemon and juice. Squeeze on the juice, squeeze on the juice. Pour it in the big jug, pour it in the big jug. Add sugar and water. Drink it up, stomach full. See how lovely the rhyme is, right? The child is trying to make a lemon juice, right? Lime juice. So you can practically work with these kind of rhymes, but again it develops his enrichment of vocabulary. So please be particular in choosing your stories and rhymes. The fifth group, okay, the fifth group has, you have to introduce the material which you cannot bring in the house of environment. Okay, for example, you have to introduce the hospital, you want to introduce jungle, zoo, animals. You can't bring inside the school, right? So you should be having something, pictures like this. Okay, I have this book. Okay, so you can have pictures, you can have charts, these kind of charts. Okay, and you can introduce. Okay, children, today shall we speak about zoo, jungle? So what kind of animals can you find in jungle? Shall we have a look? So see, this is elephant. Okay, and this is camel. Okay, you can see many animals here. This is cow. Then again you can ask questions. Who all have seen cow? What does cow gives? Yes, cow gives milk. Okay, then you can introduce with other animals. Okay, so these kind of animals you cannot bring to the school. Panda, isn't it? Polar bear, right? They all usually lives in Arctic regions. Okay, so you can introduce this, you can introduce this kind of pictures. This was just an example. You can introduce hospital, chart of hospital, what are the things are available in hospital. You can introduce police station, you can introduce zoo, many other charts you can bring, and you can develop their language activity. Okay, so this is the fifth group. So as soon as the child enters in the house of environment, you can introduce this language activity according to the sequence. But keep in mind that if the child is perfect in first group, then you can go for second group. If the child completes the activity in second group, you can go to third group. Okay, this is how you have to come in sequence, and you can finish with fifth group activities.